The air grows cold. The once warm and inviting atmosphere of the forest now feels like a distant memory, replaced by an eerie chill that seeps into your bones. A chill runs down your spine. Something isn't right. The trees seem to whisper secrets and the shadows dance with a life of their own. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. This is how the stories begin. Tales of the unknown passed down through generations, each one more terrifying than the last. The forest holds many secrets, and not all of them are meant to be uncovered. Whispers of a terrifying entity, passed down through generations, send shivers down the spines of those who dare to listen. These whispers speak of a presence that lurks in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. She is Hasshaku-sama, the 8-foot-tall woman, a spectre who haunts the rural areas of Japan. Her towering figure is said to be a harbinger of doom. Her presence a sign that something terrible is about to happen. Her name strikes fear in the hearts of many. Those who hear it know that danger is near. The mere mention of Hasshaku-sama is enough to send people running, desperate to escape her grasp. Those who have encountered her speak of an overwhelming sense of dread. They describe a feeling of being watched, of an unseen force that seems to follow their every move. It's as if the shadows themselves are alive, conspiring against them. An unseen force seems to watch their every move. The feeling of being hunted is inescapable, and the fear is palpable. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sends their heart racing. She is a creature of the shadows, lurking just beyond the veil of reality. Her presence is felt more than seen, a dark silhouette that blends seamlessly with the night. She's always there, just out of sight, waiting. They say she can mimic voices, luring unsuspecting victims to their doom. Her voice is said to be soft and alluring, a siren's call that draws people deeper into the forest, where she waits to claim them. Her origins are shrouded in mystery. Some say she was once a woman who suffered a great tragedy, her spirit unable to find peace. Others believe she is a manifestation of the forest itself, a guardian turned malevolent. Some believe she is the vengeful spirit of a scorned woman, a woman who was wronged in life and now seeks retribution in death. Her anger and sorrow have transformed her into a fearsome entity. Others claim she is a malevolent yokai, a supernatural entity with a taste for human suffering. These creatures are said to feed on fear, and Hasshaku-sama is no exception. She thrives on the terror she instills in her victims. Whatever her true nature, one thing is certain: Hasshaku-sama is not to be trifled with. Her power is immense, and her wrath is swift. Those who encounter her rarely live to tell the tale. To stumble upon her is to invite terror into your life. The forest becomes a maze of fear, each step taking you closer to your doom. The only hope is to escape before she finds you, but even then the memory of her presence will haunt you forever. Imagine a figure of immense height, towering over you. A presence so imposing that it seems to stretch beyond the confines of the physical world, casting a shadow that engulfs everything in its path. She is often described as wearing a white burial kimono, a garment traditionally associated with death and the afterlife in Japanese culture. Her face is hidden by a wide-brimmed hat, adding to her enigmatic and ghostly appearance. Her long black hair cascades down her back like a silken waterfall, contrasting starkly with her pale skin. This stark contrast only serves to heighten the sense of otherworldliness that surrounds her. Witnesses describe her eyes as dark and piercing, filled with a chilling emptiness that seems to bore into your soul. These eyes are said to hold a depth of sorrow and malice that is both captivating and terrifying. Her voice, when she chooses to use it, is said to be a low, guttural whisper. This whisper is not just a sound, but a sensation that seems to crawl under your skin, leaving a trail of goosebumps in its wake. It sends shivers down the spines of those who hear it, a primal reaction to a sound that seems to come from the depths of the unknown. Some say she mimics the voices of loved ones, luring her victims into a false sense of security. This ability to imitate familiar voices makes her even more dangerous, as it preys on the trust and emotions of her victims. The image of Hasshaku-sama is both captivating and terrifying, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond our perception. Her presence is a blend of beauty and horror, a spectral figure that defies the boundaries of reality. Her appearance is a chilling juxtaposition of the familiar and the strange. The traditional elements of her attire are steeped in cultural significance, yet they are twisted into something eerie and unsettling. The traditional clothing evokes a sense of Japanese culture, a connection to the past, and the customs that have shaped the present. Yet in the context of Hasshaku-sama, these elements take on a sinister tone. But her towering height and unsettling presence mark her as something otherworldly. She stands as a bridge between the world of the living and the realm of spirits, a guardian of ancient fears and forgotten nightmares. Hasshaku-sama is a stark reminder that even in the modern world, ancient fears still have the power to grip our hearts and send shivers down our spines. Her legend persists, a testament to the enduring power of folklore and the human fascination with the supernatural. In a world that is constantly changing, she remains a constant, a figure that embodies the timeless terror of the unknown. One summer evening, a young boy named Taro was playing near a rice paddy field. The golden hues of the setting sun cast long shadows across the landscape, creating a serene and picturesque scene. Taro, with his boundless energy and imagination, was lost in his own world, running through the fields and chasing after imaginary creatures. He was engrossed in his games, his laughter echoing through the fields. The world around him seemed to fade away as he immersed himself in his playful adventures. He didn't notice the sun beginning to set, the sky transitioning from a warm orange to a deep purple. The air grew cooler, and the once vibrant fields took on a more mysterious and eerie appearance. As darkness fell, Taro heard a woman's voice calling his name. It was soft yet insistent, cutting through the stillness of the evening. He stopped in his tracks, his heart pounding in his chest. It sounded like his grandmother, a voice he knew well and trusted. But there was something off about it, a strange undertone that made him uneasy. He turned to see a tall figure in white standing at the edge of the field. The figure was almost ethereal, blending seamlessly with the encroaching darkness. It stood unnaturally still, its presence both captivating and terrifying. "Taro," the figure whispered, her voice raspy and low. It sent shivers down his spine, the familiarity of the voice clashing with the sinister tone. "Come here, child, it's time to go home." The figure beckoned, its movements slow and deliberate. Taro felt an inexplicable pull towards it, as if an invisible force was urging him forward. Taro took a step towards the figure, drawn by the familiar voice. His mind was a whirlwind of confusion and fear, torn between the urge to obey and the instinct to flee, but something didn't feel right. The closer he got, the more his unease grew. The figure's features were obscured, its face hidden in shadow, and its presence felt increasingly menacing. He hesitated, a sense of unease washing over him. His instinct screamed at him to turn back, to run away from the figure that seemed to defy the natural order of things. He looked again at the figure, noticing its unnatural height and the way it seemed to blend into the shadows. Fear gripped Taro's heart. The figure's eyes, or what he thought were eyes, glowed faintly in the dim light, adding to its otherworldly appearance. He turned and ran towards his home, the woman's voice echoing after him, growing louder and closer. Panic fueled his legs, and he sprinted through the fields, the once familiar path now seeming endless and treacherous. He didn't stop running until he reached the safety of his house, slamming the door shut behind him. His chest heaved with exertion, and his mind raced with the terrifying encounter he had just experienced. When he told his family what he had seen, they were horrified. Their faces paled, and they exchanged worried glances, recognizing the danger that Taro had narrowly escaped. They recognized the description of Hasshaku-sama, a malevolent spirit known to lure children away with her deceptive appearance and haunting voice. The legend spoke of her towering height and the eerie way she blended into the night. Taro was lucky to have escaped her clutches. His family held him close, grateful for his safe return, and vowed to keep a closer watch on him, ensuring he never ventured out alone at dusk again. Section 4. Echoes in the Countryside. Stories of Hasshaku-sama are particularly prevalent in rural areas of Japan. They're often told as cautionary tales to keep children from wandering off alone. The fear of encountering Hasshaku-sama is deeply ingrained in the local folklore. Farmers whisper tales of seeing her towering figure in their fields at dusk, her white kimono billowing in the wind. Travelers passing through remote villages speak of hearing her chilling laughter echoing through the mountains. Her presence is felt most strongly in places where the modern world has yet to fully penetrate. In these areas, ancient traditions and beliefs still hold sway. The line between reality and the supernatural can be thin. The isolation of the countryside, with its vast open spaces and dense forests, provides the perfect backdrop for legends like Hasshaku-sama to thrive. Here, where the sounds of nature can play tricks on the mind, it's easy to believe that something sinister lurks just beyond the tree line.